Happy Halloween, everyone! It's another year for me to challenge myself through creativity. Initially, I drew my avant-garde punk look from Sarah Jessica Parker's Met Ball costume, but someone from Instagram have pointed out that my costume was even more inspired by Marc Jacobs' Fairwear collection as a creative director for Louis Vuitton for Spring/Summer 2014. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this video and you be the judge. Have fun and be safe. Let's begin. First, you will need a fitted muscle tee. I made one out of felt because I like the structure it gives, but any fitted muscle tee will suffice. Then, you will need a stiff pleather fabric, the same kind as they use for upholstering sofas and chairs, in color black, and cut it in strips like this, around half an inch in width and 12 inches in length. After cutting the pleather fabric into strips, it should look like this. You need probably around 20 to 25 strips just in case. Next, I already did the left side so you can get a better picture of how the design is supposed to look like. First, imagine a skeletal rib cage or pecs. Basically, you are going to mark a half moon shape and emulate a skeletal rib but in 3D. You will hot glue both edges of the pleather strips we made earlier. Glue one side on the mid-chest area and then the other side of the strip onto the edge of the shoulders. Make sure that the strips protrudes out of the fabric, like so. Next, you will need various kinds of rhinestones and strips of studs, which by the way you can get from Joann's fabric store if you're from the United States. If not, you can check eBay. I wanted to use my leftover rhinestones and studs from my other projects, so I decided to just spray paint them black. Now this is the fun part. You can embellish your costume with any kind of pattern you desire, but here's how I did mine. In respect of time, I'm just going to fast forward this process. Feel free to stop and pause it to see it closer. By the way, I'm using this quick dry fabric glue to stick the rhinestones and studs to the garment. My second DIY is a Margiela inspired mask. I'm using a beaten up head styrofoam I got from Sally's Beauty Supply for around $4 to $5 and put on an old Margiela mask from my old project to add mask on my styrofoam head because it was too small to fit my head later. Then I wrap around some wax paper so when I glued the rhinestone and studs in a little bit, it will not stick to the head mold we have set up here. Lastly, I'm using a 1 yard of tulle fabric as the actual transparent mask that will go on my head later. It's easier this way to mark the face and where to place the embellishments. Later on, when it's dry, I'm basically going to wrap it the same way to my head and tie it with a rubber band behind my head underneath the back of my muscle tee. After the rhinestones and studs are dried up, I'm going to make a fun little pattern on the face area. Again, this is the fun part because you can be as creative as you want to be, but here's how I did mine. Here's our third DIY, which is a Givenchy skirt flap with design embellishments. First, depending on your body size, for me, I'm just using a little bit more than half a yard of fabric, and I'm going to create a strip to strap it around my waist and secure it with a Velcro. I'm using my actual body size to cut around the pleather fabric for this skirt flap. Sorry, I didn't think you need science to make this perfect. Observe my concept of construction. Again, it's time to add the embellishments on the skirt's flap. I think in this part it's easier to align the rhinestone and studs, and then once you have your design pattern in place, then you can go back and glue it, like so. Our last DIY is the feather Mohawk headdress. You will need a regular headband, but you will have to put it the other way around from the edge of your forehead to the back of your head. You will need popsicle sticks where you're going to cut the edges into spikes. Sorry, I don't know how to explain this, but basically you're going to glue gun the popsicle sticks onto the headband and then glue the feathers standing up from the popsicle sticks. Secure both sides of the feather with popsicle sticks. Towards the end, it should look like this. Since I didn't have any black feathers, I just spray painted them black at the end. Thank you to my dearest friend Jordan for helping me film this video. Love you!